Welcome back to Dynasty Daygame, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the spotlight effect. Alright, the spotlight effect. Maybe you don't know what the spotlight effect is. Many people experience the spotlight effect. All of us, every single human being experiences the spotlight effect to some varying degree. The spotlight effect is basically, I'm going to put it in simple terms from my knowledge, the spotlight effect is basically a psychological trick that gets played on us when we believe that somebody is judging us or paying attention to some very specific thing about us more than what reality is actually saying. Typically you experience the spotlight effect when maybe you trip over and you believe everybody's just watched you trip over, and you think maybe some pass-bys are laughing at their own joke, but you perceive that to be them laughing at you because you just fell over and you believe you just did a very embarrassing mistake, even though it happens to the best of us sometimes. We all trip over at least once a year. But yeah, I want to apply the spotlight effect to, obviously what we talk about on this channel is Daygame. So I'm going to be applying the spotlight effect to Daygame and telling you how you're going to experience the spotlight effect in Daygame and how you can overcome this, how to be aware of this. I'm going to try and enlighten you to realize that the spotlight effect is playing on you and people are not actually judging you the way you think they are. So yeah, like this video idea came to my mind as obviously I talked about in the previous videos about my coaching, and we coached Coach Yang's best friend, student Hao, and the problem that he faced during the, let's say, immersion period, the 1 day of coaching, was that he was feeling nervous and overwhelmed. It was playing on his mind, the spotlight effect, basically. It's playing on his mind that people were looking at him, and he was kind of like maybe apprehensive to keep on going and doing more approaches, because he did the approaches as soon as we told him to, like the first 5 or whatever, and then he's like, oh, first 4, whatever, I don't know. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm having a problem, I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed right now, a lot of pressure in my head, that people are looking at me. And Coach Yang told him in his native language that basically nobody really cares about him, but he was saying this in kind of a liberating way, really grounding him in realism, because we know this is realism, because me and Coach Yang, Coach Genghis, my name, we've done so many approaches, like we've both done over 1,000 to know that people don't care as much as the spotlight effect is trying to tell you that people care. When you go over and do the cold approach, when you go over there and give the compliment to the woman, and you maybe sometimes it goes wrong, and me and Coach Lang, we both experienced it not going perfectly and making mistakes and doing terrible stop and maybe getting let's say undesirable outcome, which a lot of people would call rejection, when a lot of the time it's not rejection. Rejection is when they'll tell you to fuck off, and hardly any girls tell us to fuck off ever. They never tell us that. So yeah, me and Coach Yang have we've really transcended from the spotlight effect, the human condition that every human on planet Earth has faced in their lives. But obviously, daytime cold approach, not everybody's doing that. So like, not everybody can really apply the spotlight effect to daytime cold approach, as well as me and Coach Jan can. And I mean, I first heard the application of the spotlight effect to Daygame from my great friend Christian Casanova. He talked about the spotlight effect and really did a good application of the spotlight effect to the context of Daygame. Maybe if you never heard about all this stuff of Daygame or whatever, you probably might be thinking I'm talking nonsense right now. But yeah, I'll keep on going. So yeah, like, the truth is, the reality is that first I want to put the reality in Manchester. Like, I just want to talk about Manchester as a city. Manchester's a big population. Lots of people travel in and out of Manchester, go there for uni, go there for college, go there for a new life. And every day in Manchester, loads of crazy stuff happens, and there's a lot of tyranny, a lot of crime. They have the Manchester football games going on. You have the events, random events that pop up in the centre of Manchester. You have the what else do you have? You have protests for like Palestine, missing people, and so much happening in Manchester. Like, when you put all that stuff in comparison to what you're doing, going over to a woman, well, I hope with a good intention, just giving a compliment, wishing them a nice day, is literally nothing in comparison. It makes hardly any noise in comparison to what's going on in Manchester specifically. So yeah, like, the spotlight effect is really very, very small. Has very hardly any validness in Manchester. Yeah, actually, people do look at me do it sometimes. Look at me do the approach sometimes. They look for 5 seconds, and then they look away. Not even 5 seconds. They look away, and then they go on with their lives. Maybe they were shocked, impressed, whatever it is. Maybe they laugh because my approach doesn't go well. I'm not perfect. I may be coaching this. I may have done over 1,000 approaches, but I'm human too. I make like small mistakes with this cold approach. I do a bad stop the girl in not a very good way. So like, yeah, I don't know what. I feel like I've gone on a tangent from something. I can't remember. But yeah, like, so Manchester, yeah, the spotlight effect, in conclusion, really has hardly any validness to it, and just in general in real life for everyone. It's true that what Christian Casanova says, we suffer from more from imagination than reality, you know. We all do, really. We all have this ego and this overload of self-importance in our mind that we start. Seems like the human condition, really. So yeah, so maybe you probably need a coach to, like, or someone, a wingman, to go out with you to do game, to really make sure the spotlight effect doesn't get to you, because at the end of the day it's just a trick. But the mind can be really overwhelming sometimes, especially when you're doing something as bold as cold approach. Yeah, like, so yeah, that's the video about the spotlight effect. Peace.